All right, well, let's start with the superintendent search. As we do this on a Friday afternoon, the superintendent has just been named. It's Dr. Marie Feagin. She comes to Memphis if she accepts the job, and that process has just started, the negotiation. She comes to us from Detroit Public Schools, where she's the chief of leadership in high schools, the executive director of high school transformation, and special assistant to the superintendent there. She says she's proud to be a Head Start kid. She grew up in Alabama. She spent some time working in the school systems in Jefferson County, Alabama, as well as Huntsville Public Schools. Currently in Detroit, there are some 51,000 students in that school district, 82% black, 14% Hispanic. In her tenure, she's raised the graduation rate in Detroit from, taking some of the credit anyway, from raising the graduation rate from 64 to 71%. And she promises to make literacy a focus. She has said that on the record, she said during the interview process that to her observation, the top portions of MSCS's central office are pretty bloated, which gives you an indication how she feels about where there might be cuts. And all school systems are looking at cuts because that pandemic money is rapidly evaporating. Still, it is a huge budget that Memphis City Schools, Shelby County Schools operates. The largest budget she's ever overseen is $2 million. This one's going to be a lot bigger, a lot more challenges that go along with that. So I'll open it up with you, Otis. Just your thoughts about the choice, first of all.
Well, the choice itself, based on what I know, is a good choice. And, you know, having lived in Detroit for a short period of time, long before probably she got there, I do know that the Detroit schools and Memphis schools are somewhat similar in the issues that they have. Of course, Detroit and Memphis are similar with the issues that we have in a lot of different areas. So I think that she will understand what the problems and what the issues are here. Yes, the process was messy and maybe took longer than it should have. But I think at the end, the school board, in a very methodical way on Friday, blotted out all the noise and got the job done, and I commend them for doing that.
What are your thoughts about what you know about Ms. Feagin?
Well, I know nothing about her except having read her resume and read a few things that the press has put out about her, but so far I'm pretty impressed with her on paper. I am impressed with her background. I think it will be a good fit in Memphis. I don't think that, I think the thing that's outstanding right now is her salary. I don't believe that they've come to terms with that, but I have to assume that they will. I think we're at a point after this year and a half of messy appointment, as Otis calls it. I think we need to support her. I mean, we go out, Memphis, we go out so often on these national searches, and then we wind up throwing out what the national searches bring us, and we settle for someone probably on the inside. You know, in the perfect world, that's not a bad idea. But we get such a provincial reputation in this country of going out for national searches and not doing what the searches bring us. I think that we have a good candidate here. I think that we ought to all get in line behind her and support her. And I think that the people who have been naysayers about her appointment need to stop in their tracks right now and support her unless they see something otherwise.
In fact, to your point, Reverend Norman, it was just literally 2 hours before the school board sat down to meet. A county commissioner by the name of Henry Brooks had a news conference discouraging the school board from making a decision. Let's listen to that soundbite real quick.
These candidates, I believe, bring concerns that could be challenging to our district. We now have an opportunity. This is our opportunity to get this right.
So at the 11th hour, she and some other commissioners, other people too, still were behind Tony Williams, who is the interim superintendent, and most people agree she's done a pretty good job. But again, this resistance to bringing some new blood in, some new energy, We're seeing it on the police side as well with C.J. Davis. What are your thoughts about how this is handled?
Well, I think it's high time for us to stop doing that. First of all, a national search does not prohibit local candidates from applying, so that they can apply. The term national just means we're going to broaden it. We're going to put it out there for everybody to see. But the second thing is that we have to stop thinking that when people come to our city that they can't learn. We're talking about highly trained professionals who are able to adapt and to lead, maybe bring new thoughts and ideas. I think it's time for us to get behind them. We can't bring them here and then not support them. We've seen that on a couple of occasions. I think most recently we've seen that with our police chief. We have to rally around these individuals, bring the new thought process and the best practices that they are aware of, and embrace them in our city. I'd like to welcome Dr. Feagin to our city. I'd like to thank Tony Williams for doing an excellent job while she was here. I think transition occurs, and we knew that this was going to happen. I'm a little concerned about, yes, the 11th hour. Why did we get here so late with so many people, not just with Henry Brooks, but with so many others who had opinions at the 11th hour about what should happen. We had plenty of time to talk about these things before today.
And to Keith's point about supporting someone who does come from the outside, we have done that before with the school superintendent. We did it with Carol Johnson. We did it to some degree with Jerry House before Carol Johnson. And we even tried to do a little of that with Croner Cash, although his tenure sort of butted up against the effort to merge the schools.
Right.
So it has been done. It should be done this time with Dr. Feagin.
Right. Culture is important.
Right.
Knowing the culture of any organization that you're going to lead is extremely important. If you've been brought up in that culture, you can know it, but it can be hard to lead it because you've been a part of it. And so it weighs out both ways.